Last year, my video game flipping business did $2.6 million in video game sales on Amazon. And next year, we have the very ambitious goal of doubling that almost to $5 million. And so today, I want to bring you guys in behind the curtain and talk about two big things and a bunch of small things that I'm doing in my business to try to help us get there this year. And I also want to show you guys, now that we've made a huge change already to our business, and now we're buying all kinds of games, some of the coolest items that we are now getting in that we used to just never get. So let's go ahead and start with that. Because this batch right here is one of the, it's small but mighty, one of the coolest batches I've seen recently. Check this out. We have these absolutely minty condition Game Boy games, not a crease on this whole thing. And some of them even have the original price stickers. Like, look at this, Walmart, $34 for Final Fantasy Legend. All of the plastic wrap is on this except what they had to cut off to just take it out of the box. This was a true collector that bought this lot. Super minty Pilot Wings here. It's been really cool recently. We made a change 2 months ago. We used to only buy a set list of 1,000 games through our video game buyback website, myquickflips.com. Those are these games over here. Every game that you see on these shelves that we have multiple copies of is something that was on our hot list. In January, we started buying not just games that were on the hot list, but literally every game made since the NES. And what that has resulted in is not only are we getting those same games that were already on our hot list that you see here, but also a bunch of random stuff. We're getting disc-only stuff like a copy of Dino Crisis that could use a little bit scratchy. You know, Luigi's Mansion. We've got random collector's editions and steelbooks that are coming in now, like this Forza Horizon, or also a bunch of lower stuff, you know, like Madden 17, Sega Superstars, stuff like that. And every day recently on Intake, we do intake twice a week. Today is Friday, and it's an intake day, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more batches that we have not processed or paid out yet. But it has meant that every single day when we're getting stuff in, I truly have no idea what is going to come through the door, and it's been really fun. Some of these items down here, do we have anything in here? These are some of our highest dollar items that we've gotten this last week. Lufia on DS, is that like $100+ game? I don't know. We've got Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade on NES. A brand new seal, looks like PAL edition of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Good thing the Switch is region-free. And then this is the weirdest one of the week. SingStar Latino. Apparently, this is a super rare version of SingStar, and the only one that I could find listed on eBay. What was this listed for? 200 bucks? $120. So that's also what it's price charting for. I couldn't find a single sold. If any of you guys have sold this before and could let me know what it goes for, that would be much appreciated. But as you look around the basement, I was realizing the other day that I'm really proud of where this business has come in the last 5 years or so, because every single place that you look in this whole facility, what you'll see is a system. Over here, this is a pretty obvious and basic system, right? Just organizing the kinds of games that we're likely to get multiple copies in of. But there are also systems like this, which is our dry battery Pokemon game box, because we don't want to individually, as these are coming in, I think it might be time for me to get in shape. I'm winded filming a YouTube video. All of these games, if we switched the battery as they were coming in, that would be a ton of task switching. So instead, we'll test every game so that we know what shape it's in, and if it needs a battery, we'll toss it in this box, and then we'll send them out to have their batteries replaced, because we are a bunch of chimps at this business, and we do not know, we don't hire Homo sapiens here. They're too advanced for us. I'm roasting my entire business at once. Everywhere you look, you'll see a system. So the two small changes, or multiple small changes that I wanted to talk to you guys about today that I'm making with my business are all just small system tweaks that I wanted to bring you guys in on in case you also have a video game flipping business or a resale business of any kind that you're interested in scaling. Because what I have realized and what I've been repeating to myself over and over and over this year, as the business has gone from 2 people to now we're trying to hire our 9th, is simple systems scale. Simple systems scale. So every part of this basement I'm trying to make as simple as possible so there's as little room for error, and training for any future team members that we bring on is as efficient and easy as possible. So one of those simple systems are our new intake mats. So these are just, as you can see, we're very fancy here. These are some Home Depot medium heavyweight boxes that we have co-opted here. And there are sections on each one of these, and you can see this is actually being actively used right now, that when we get a box of games in that someone has shipped us through myquickflips.com, shameless plug, if any of you guys have extra inventory or extra collection games lying around, we would be thrilled to do business with you. And who knows, one day you could accidentally see your collection being filmed on a second-rate YouTube channel and sorted live. So this is the section right here where things will get laid out and the condition will be inspected, and we'll check on the invoice to make sure that everything that is supposed to be here is here. Then from there, things will get sorted both according to condition and according to sales channel, because there are multiple different ways at this point in the business that we are trying to move this inventory. And this mat, previously what these tables looked like is just a regular old table. Now these are Super Saiyan tables for maximum business productivity. We're very serious around here at Renix P-Sale. Where the heck was I going with that? We have these sorted by actually not just condition and sales channel, but also by, in this case, cost basis, right? Because different kinds of games will go to different places based on how much they actually cost us. And this is a very simple system that I think removes a lot of the ambiguity and a lot of the scariness from the intake process, which in reality for our business is pretty complex and nuanced. So we want to make this as approachable for new people who are getting trained on it as possible. And I think this simple tape and marker and cardboard system is going to, in the long run, pay big dividends. And I already have ideas in my mind for what version 2 could eventually look like. Another system, actually, that is right next door, we'll take the long way around so that we can get a nice little scenic view, is this one over here. This is where all of our games get sorted, all of our hot list games get sorted. So because every game in these stacks is a game that we get at least multiple copies of every single month, we will take the time to sort it on those shelves by title so that we can maximize our listing efficiency. Because it is way faster when you're listing a batch of 80 games to send to Amazon. If you've got at least 5 of each of those games, that's only, what is that? 16? What is it? 16. It is 16. Yes! I will become a human. I'll be a real boy one of these days. That's only 16 individual listings. But if you have a stack of 80 different games, that's going to be 80 listings that you have to make for the same size batch. So that's a way that we're trying to maximize efficiency, but again, in the name of creating a simple system that can scale to anybody, what I've done is taken a few of these blank cases, that we get in bulk to replace cases with, and I have taped them down into these permanent spots on this table, because what would happen previously is we've always had this table as hot list game sorting, but it would look a little bit different every Tuesday and every Friday because we didn't have designated spots for every different console based on how many of those were likely to get in. So if you'll take a look with me down here, you'll see that we have the most stack spots for Wii games because we get by far more Wii games in than any other console. We also have 3 different, that's not good. We have some original Xbox games that have gone in the 360 section. To be fair, these look extremely similar. There's an almost indistinguishable difference there between the 360 and the original Xbox cases. But the idea is that if you squint, you can see the difference. And you can put the original Xbox games, stack them here because we don't get that much original Xbox in, but we do get a ton of 360 games. And there are 3 different 360 game stacks here. There are 3 for PlayStation. We've got a couple PS4. I was noticing the other day we were getting a ton of PS4 in, so we may need another little section for that here. We've got like loose game, upside down cartridges over here. Essentially, everything has a home. Everything that goes onto the hot list, eventually you can sort it here, and then eventually someone can sort it onto these shelves. I'm pretty proud of that. What other system? Let's talk about these shelves behind you. Uh-oh, we're going in reverse mode. Beep, beep, beep. These are now also color-coded with the same tape that you can find on the intake mats. So the idea is, whatever segment you sort it into as you're doing intake, it'll be extremely easy to find what bin does it go in. So for example, if we've got stuff that we're going to be selling on Amazon, the Amazon color is dark blue, and if I have a stack of games that are dirty, I just look for the dark blue bin that says dirty, and I pop them all in there. And again, that's to maximize simplicity, maximize trainability. The last, well, there are a couple more systems here. Gosh, we've been on it with the systems, folks. I'm feeling really good about this. Another one is our responsibility chart. This used to be a little bit nebulous, a little bit ambiguous. I'm getting a little bit, my chimp brain is overheating right now, with people's weekly responsibilities. That's the last thing that you want. You don't want ambiguity in a business. You want concreteness. You want simplicity. And so this is the spot where anytime I'm saying, hey, Spencer, can you keep an eye on resurfacing? Or, hey, Keaton, now bagging is under your purview and that's something that you're accountable for. That's not something I'm just speaking into the ether. It's something that actually has a home and that people can go to this board and not only by week, but by day of the week, see exactly what their priorities are going to be. And if I'm seeing gaps that need to be filled and things that need to be changed around, those can be reflected on that board, is the idea. I don't love that it's marker. I may eventually change that to like some sort of a sticky note system, because anytime something gets bumped up, you have to erase everything and then go back and fill it in. So always improving around here, folks. The last simple tweak that we have made is this beautiful system right here. The cost of this system that now probably holds multiple thousands of individual discs, is it multiple? It's probably like 2,000 discs. The cost of this was $12. This was mostly scrap wood, and I spent $12 on these perfectly sized wooden dowels. Uh-oh. This guy, get a zoom in there. That's not what you want to see, that little wiggliness. That's no good. We may have to optimize that a little bit further. But the idea behind this is these things all used to be in boxes. And yeah, the boxes were separated by price tier, and that was good. And there were a bunch of spindles in them, but it was on the bottom shelf. It was kind of hard to get to. They filled up really quick, and there was a bunch of wasted space. So I said, okay, we've got this little space right here. Let's see if we can create a dowel system that also is, and this is another thing that I'm not really super happy with. The labeling, it's a little bit ambiguous what one, like, I like that there's an arrow here that this goes this way, but it's kind of all jumbled in the middle, so we may have to redo that at some point. But nonetheless, I'm really happy that at a glance, you can see, okay, here's our, all of the discs that we paid between like 1 cent and $1 for, then some more expensive ones down here, and then here are the ones that have been sorted according to where they should go. We're trying to ask the question right now, is it worth it trying to like, trying to pair discs with cases that we get in? Is that something that long-term we should like offer a case and manual price through Quick Flips that people could sell just the case and manual? The price on that would have to be so low that I don't know if it would be worth it for people. And also we would have to have so much storage of the loose cases and manuals in hopes that we eventually pair a disc with them. I don't know if it would really be worth it, because a big part of our DNA here is moving through things quickly and not storing more things than necessary. But all that to say, it's something that is on my mind and that I'm considering. What is the most that we can feasibly get out of these loose discs that now are coming in the door that before never were? So if you guys have ideas for that, feel free to let me know. If you know a like a large wholesale player that pays really well for disc-only games, would be thrilled to know that too. Or if you are one, who knows? Maybe you're bored on a Sunday and you're munching some pizza and throwing on some RenXP sale for your good health. Those are the majority of the small tweaks that we're making in this business to try to get to 5 million this year. But I also mentioned that there are some larger changes that we are going to have to make. We've got to see, this is an example of a full dirty bin of hot list games. So that is probably going to get resolved, I don't know, today or Monday or something like that. What are the big changes? What are the big things that are coming down the pipe for Quick Flips? Well, I think there are two big things. Right now, we are currently trying to hire, we're trying really hard to hire someone for intake. Right now, I'm doing most of the intake work. I really want to free myself up to do more on the creation and marketing side, and also like systems refinement and things like that. So that's a hire that we're going to need to make that I think will really help us get to the next level. Hiring is something I'm learning a lot about that I did not know anything about really before this year. I think that's one skill set that if you're trying to take something from a startup into like a real small business, you have to figure out at some point, and I'm deep in the thick of that. The other big thing is, as you look around, you may realize that we are crowded. You can take a little pan here, Keaton, of the basement space. And don't get me wrong, I am very grateful for how far this basement has gotten us. At some point, if you guys would like to see like a full basement tour of, you know, all the things, I feel like I have done that somewhat recently, but I don't know, we're always making a lot of changes too. By the way, hairline check, didn't mean to jump scare you guys with the hair reveal there. But we're coming up at the edges, the outer edges of this basement's capacity. So space is something that also is on my mind. I don't know what is your finger in it? No. Okay, Spencer's giggling. Spencer's giggling over there because his finger is very famous at this point. I'm a professional, Spencer. Space is something that's on my mind. I don't know how soon it's coming. It's going to depend partly on every move that we make to help us scale. I'm very insistent on doing it in a very conservative way that won't put us at risk later on, especially if that contract is, you know, mid to longer term. But it's possible that this time, you know, next year, we may be shooting P-Sale videos not in the basement anymore. And it'll be a little bit bittersweet because I really like this space, but also you know, we're sitting on each other, and the games are sitting on. We need more space for more intake stations. We need more computers. We need more shelving. We need more bins. We need more chairs, and we need more people. We need more help, and we need more videos, and we need most of all more hair.